say I wouldn't make it, but it's happening quick. Hating on me now.
Hello, world. We're here, serving Savannah, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Brooklyn, Houston, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and the world. The best music all the time. The greatest songs ever made, every time. Tune in to Hot 2100 Savannah and get a taste for your ears. Hot 2100 Savannah, serving Savannah and the world.
When it comes to the city, I'm the key. Gotta go to court in the morning for a plea. What you gotta pay to get, I hit that for free. And when I'm in the streets, yeah, I gotta tote that heat. It's hard for you to touch it, cause I stay up out of reach. Talking about ends dirty, I'ma make them meet. I've been down too long, I be damn if I don't eat. If you want someone to try, I be damn if it's me. I see why you mad, you ain't swaggin' like this.
We are back. It's another Saturday. I'm Robert, and we are on the Watchdogs. How you doing, gentlemen? The Wolfpack is back.
Pretty
Sure. I survived my first week with them churns, so
Speaking of children, I don't know if you have read or not. They're coming up with a new surveillance system called it K through 12 schools. So they're just wasting a bunch of taxpayers' money on a complete overhaul of surveillance in every school building now. So that's why they didn't roll back the millage rate at the last hearing for the Board of Education. And they want to blow more money on worthless technology rather than working on actually improving the method and the process in which people learn.
let's remember they spent almost $1 million putting vape detectors in the school, so that don't surprise me.
Vape potato.
Yeah.
Vape detectors. The kids was vaping in the bathroom, so they spent I think it's eight when the budget was like $874,000. Don't quote me on that number, but somewhere close to that they spent on vape detectors.
I
Yeah.
was so against the last E-Splosh, and I'm going to tell you why. For someone who's worked in education, I want people to realize buildings don't teach students. Why
No.
don't we spend the money on more educators and reducing class size and in-school assessment and getting rid of standardized testing? I don't understand how the American way of education has just become just a laughing stock.
Because the people don't really want to address the problems. What they want to do is technology and more administrative layers and brand new sparkling buildings rather than actually getting to the source of the issue. And the source of the issue is they don't have enough qualified teachers. And qualified teachers that are gifted at communicating information in an understandable way for K through 12 to learn, they get frustrated and quit. I'm sorry, but it's not so much from lack of money. They quit because of all the overhaul and administrative BS rules that hindered them from their instruction in the classroom. And now that they have all these new buildings that they forked out almost $400 million on, and they don't have the money to maintain them. And now they're blowing more taxpayer dollars on the surveillance system, like it is the vaping sensors that you talked about. And their idea to fix the problem is to make it where they only hire in the future teachers who have a master's degree. That'll be another excuse for them to have another hearing to raise taxes even more, but the person with a master's degree is going to demand more of a salary. You don't need a master's degree to teach K through 12.
You don't.
You don't. This is just, they're adding one more layer after another to take more money from the general population in a time where people are having, they barely have enough money to go grocery shopping. And food stamps don't go as far as they used to, and prices are higher. And although we made some good economic deals recently, they're not going to go into effect until years from now. So we're still suffering an economic, shall we say, downturn. So even if the economy is improved a little bit, you, I, and everyone are not going to feel it for 2 or 3 years.
Right. And I
You
agree with
you
that.
may not like
I
that.
think we are way overtaxed. You know, at the end of the day, it bothers me how incompetent local government has become. And that's on a school board level, that's on a city council level, that's on a county commissioner level. There should be nobody raising a millage rate, raising a tax, any of that. Because at the end of the day, and I'm not talking just locally, I'm talking nationwide. At the end of the day, if you have a surplus of any amount, you don't need to raise any taxes. If you
No,
have a surplus of any amount, you don't need any more. And so what we're seeing now, like you said, people want to be known for these nice shiny objects. And we got people out here who are voting who have absolutely no clue on what they're voting for. And let me use this for an example. The Georgia Public Service Commission. How stupid have we been to allow the same people to run the Georgia Public Service Commission when that plant Vogel that was being paid for before it was even built, it now is a catastrophe, and we've been paying on plant Vogel for how long? So I want people to really pay attention. I'm willing to say people right now are shelling out a good $200 or $300 a month just on taxes alone.
and I
You
think
know,
go ahead.
even though you may not like the East Floss, I actually do approve of it from the working on the inside of it and seeing where the money goes. I do believe because at a certain point in time, everything has to be upgraded. But and like you
Yeah,
say, you would rather see the money go towards towards paying for teachers and stuff like that. That's when it comes in that the budget itself actually goes for that. Because most people don't realize, I'll say they gave us actually a really fairly dealt for us. They gave us a decent raise. I can't say about the teachers. The reason why I never be a teacher is because they make buckets.
yeah.
But lost is the actual tax would be what they would have to vote on to use like that the East Block's money to actually pay for like teacher wages to up it like that. And I don't think Trump kind of gonna vote on that.
Well, it's not really a federal issue right now. It's a state issue with Georgia. I just think that you shouldn't make a splash program every time you fail to balance the budget. Your job when you get elected is to balance the budget, cut expenses, and alleviate the tax burden on everyone. Because even people that don't pay state or federal taxes, who are living off of government, they still pay taxes when they go to the grocery store. They just don't know it. And we made everything so expensive. We're increasing the homeless rate. We're increasing the unemployment rate. And another complaint I have is all these new industries we're bringing into Georgia, we're not demanding that they hire native raised and born Savannahans or Georgians for the first 15% of employment jobs. So what they're doing, they're just moving their workforce from other cities and other states into where we are, thereby everyone that's unemployed remains unemployed. And eventually they can't pay to stay in their trailer, apartment, condo, house, wherever they live, and they have to move to survive or they end up on the street.
Well, let me add this. What I want somebody, I'm going to use Chatham County schools. I would love for somebody to do an open records request to see how much the top administration get paid, to see how big and inflated and how much pork we got at the superintendent and administrative level. It's too many people at the top level, and to see how many consulting contracts are out there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
watch this. In fact, and this may have changed because I don't have facts on this, but I'm going to say this. There was at one time my former city council opponent allegedly had a consulting contract. I don't know that to be true. It was said, but how much consulting is going on? We just got some foolishness going on at our school systems, and then people. I don't agree that public money should not go to charter schools or private schools, but I can understand why it does because we have people in these seats who understand the foolishness, and instead of correcting it, they go along with it.
Let me say it like this, y'all former superintendent. I got to look at the one how much the one makes now, but the former superintendent made was at when she left $425,000 a year. I think that's what they paid her.
Oh my word!
When the current superintendent came in, the starting, this got to keep in mind, this is how much it was $300,000. Not to mention the fact that they gave her a moving allowance because she moved from Texas. They gave her a housing allowance as well as a car allowance, and also they get a gas card, I believe. But don't put me on all that.
It's stupid. Yeah, I want you to go look at how much college presidents make across the state.
Oh, that's
now, you would be floored.
Yeah, they make way too much.
And watch this. Do you know a base level, entry level professional and higher education or teachers? They don't make above 55 grand. That's crazy. Nobody with a master's degree should make under 60,000. That's just crazy work.
Well, I make under 60. Yeah.
I get it, but that's crazy work.
If I got 50,000, I'd be dancing in the background right now. So yeah.
That's good. But speaking of school systems, did y'all see in Bullock County that an employee took their baggie of cocaine to work and then it got found?
I couldn't believe that. When
I was like, oh, they're that bad this year.
I was like, Lord, they was prepared though. They was like, I'm gonna go get my little bump go catch my little bump in the bathroom.
They had the nail or the key.
Well, now we know where all that energy comes from in Bullock County.
Y'all, let's switch gears for a minute.
Okay.
We kind of talked about some state things, some local pieces around this thing. But you all talk about the state of Georgia and some local ordinances. I want to play this and get y'all's reaction.
All right.
Visit Print prints everything to get your brand in front of your fans, like T-shirts,
Y'all
water bottles, and totes.
Here we come.
So,
Good evening, and thanks for joining us here on D News at 6. I'm Mike Seeley.
And I'm Dawn Baker. Tonight, growing backlash over the controversial Savannah gun ordinance. Georgia's Attorney General calling new rules for firearms parked cars invalid.
Flynn Snyder is live outside of Savannah City Hall. And Flynn, what is Georgia's top prosecutor saying about that new ordinance?
Well, Mike, Dawn, good evening. Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr says the recent gun ordinance conflicts with state law, so it isn't valid. It all comes as the new rules are facing legal challenges from right here in the Coastal Empire. Meanwhile, Savannah's mayor says he isn't budging. Intensifying fallout over a new Savannah ordinance regulating gun storage in parked vehicles. Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr sending a letter to City Attorney Bates Lovett Friday, urging Savannah leaders to reverse approval of the new rules. In the letter, AG Carr cites a Georgia law stating no county or municipal corporation shall regulate in any manner the possession, ownership, transport, or carrying of firearms or other weapons. He says this means the new ordinances are void. Last week, gun carrier Clarence Belt of Jessup filed a lawsuit against the city of Savannah over the new gun ordinances, also claiming they are preempted by state law. Belt's lawyer, John Monroe, says his client frequents Savannah and is disabled.
He has a car without power locks, so he's not really able to lock the car without getting out, walking around the car. He walks with a cane to lock the passenger door, and it's difficult for him to do that, so he doesn't want to.
We need common sense gun laws.
Last month, Savannah City Council passed new gun ordinances that require owners to report firearm thefts to police. It also says guns must be stowed in locked compartments and out of sight in parked cars. Monroe says allowing local gun rules gets too confusing.
And the problem is, if you have all the counties and all the cities in Georgia all having their own separate ordinances on how to store firearms in vehicles, there's no way for somebody to know as he drives from county to county and city to city what he needs to do.
Savannah Mayor Van Johnson is pushing back against critics, claiming the new rules aim to lower the number of stolen guns. He says 83% of firearm thefts came from unlocked vehicles last year. The mayor responding to AG Carr's letter during a recent Facebook Live session.
Sue us, we'll go to the Supreme Court and let the United States Supreme Court say it. The gun ordinance doesn't go anywhere, so sorry.
I beg to differ. It's gone. So the Attorney General of Georgia has trumped your law. And Mayor Johnson, if you spend as much work on flooding and real issues in the city as you all trying to be the DA and the Attorney General, maybe the city would be better off. That's just my thoughts on it.
But I agree with him about the whole gun ordinance thing about locking it up because you got to realize that's how a lot of guns get. That's how a lot of guns get out. Is people steal them. It's just as simple. But that man saying that he can just because he's disabled and his car don't have power locks, baby, you got a console right beside you. That's all they saying is when you get out of your car, put it in your console. Don't leave it on your floor. Don't leave it on the seat. Don't leave it on nowhere in plain sight. Just
so we lock it up and put it in the glove compartment. So that means nobody gonna break my window and break in the car. That's just all of that.
That's all that the ordinance is saying. And if you actually read what Attorney Carr, what the AG sent, it can be interpreted in a few ways that would undermine what he's saying. So it just requires somebody with some actual legal sense to actually go through it.
But we can't have every county making laws on guns. That doesn't make sense. I wish this leadership of this city would focus on real issues, because at the end of the day, it's not the fact that we have people stealing guns. It's the fact that we have more money in the public relations budget than we do have for officers on the street. When you have $1 million public relations budget that this mayor approved, and yet you got 100 officers down every year, he needs to get it together, because at the end of the day, it ain't people stealing guns out the cars because you don't have no police force. And you failed to recognize that. I don't understand why he's so slow.
You sound like DMX. Guns don't kill people, people kill people.
But it's not this case. Carlton, we have been chronically dealing with lack of police force ever since he's been in office. But what does he do? He puts $1 million in a public relation budget so he can put himself on TV every day. Come on now.
But he's not concerned with the actual crime. He's concerned with showboating. The truth is this. You do need more officers. This ordinance is a violation not only of your state constitution, but the United States of America Constitution. And for people that profess to support a constitutional democrat republic, they're constantly violating not only the federal constitution, but the state constitution. What's worse, if your gun is stolen, you are made responsible for it. Any crime that person commits with the gun they stole from you, you go to jail for it possibly. How is that fair? Your gun's stolen, the person that steals it shoots 3 people, and you have to go to court for murder? Come on.
No. Usually, if you file the police report, as soon as it's stolen, and you verify the serial numbers, which everybody should have their own serial numbers written down about their weapons, it alleviates you from being held responsible for what people do with those guns. Because you're like, hey, the gun, this is the good. It is my gun. I reported on XYZ date that it was stolen. I filled out the official police report, so I'm not legally liable for what happened with that gun.
Unfortunately, sometimes you still have to go to court. You still have to pay a fee, all because someone stole from you. You shouldn't even have to pay anything if you're a victim of theft, whether it's a gun, whether it's a lawnmower like me, or anything else. And the gun ordinance that went through, it should have never went through. And we do need more police officers rather than PR. We also are wasting money on more surveillance instead of police officers. And the only good that a surveillance camera is on all the streets and roads is to email or mail a citation. How many people are being mugged or beaten or rescued by one of those surveillance cameras? By the time a police officer gets to you, you're laying in a pool of blood. That's if you're still alive. So the surveillance that they're wasting millions, if not more, dollars on, they could have hired qualified police officers, and they won't do that.
Let's say, like you said, they passed the public relations.
Yes, it is publicly known that he put over millions of dollars in that PR budget. That's public knowledge. People have been knowing.
So let me say it like this. If I am somebody who has served my second term as the mayor of a huge city, and I am coming to the point where it's getting close to my end of my term, and we all know what is going right now. Brian Kemp is going out of office. Don't y'all think that he trying to submit himself as to be one of the top 4 runners for the governor's office?
I want him to run so we can mollywop him with Michael Thurman. I want him to run. He wouldn't make it past the finish line.
I'm looking forward to him miserably failing in his political career being over.
I don't even, but this is my thing. In all actuality, he stands the people who's backing him now. I genuinely believe that he stands a chance to win the primary. Maybe not against some of the others, but he stands a strong chance.
Michael Thurman will drown him.
I think the only way he'll stand any chance is if they don't find a competent competitor. If they find a competent competitor, he's going down.
I'll say this. When you put the emphasis on yourself as a public leader instead of really leading, you get what we got now. And that's my problem with a number of our leaders in this area.
Hey,
I understand wanting to be seen, but when you are a media whore, you are the problem. And I don't care what they don't like me, they don't like it. The thing is this: you were elected to serve the people, not yourself. The people need safety. They don't need more cameras. They don't need you trying to showboat. They don't need you. And this is a pattern of him trying to be a legal expert. You tried to come up against the district attorney. Now you're trying to come up against the attorney general. How about you fix flooding? How about you help a police officer? How about you deal with the homelessness in the city? No, you want to showboat and be on TV every day. And the only thing I've seen accomplished, oh, you did well in COVID. Well, pat yourself on the back. Because at the end of the day, when we look at the last 8 years, tell me what has been accomplished in this area.
Nothing. Just more debt, greater homelessness, and he looks out for everyone but the people born and raised in Savannah. I mean, that's the problem with a lot of members on the county commission and the city council. They won't focus on the people that were born and raised here. They're more concerned about the recruitment of other people from other cities, towns, and states. And they're more concerned with looking good to the country than they are helping their own citizens in their own district and in their own county. We need to put in Savannah first, Georgia second, America third, and the world last. And we're not doing that. We're just ignoring Savannahans and worrying about image, or at least it appears that way.
You're absolutely right. They need to focus on the drainage, because at one of my stops, I can clearly see by the manhole that there's a crack. And it's probably more so like from the soil beneath it sinking, because on the corner of Waters and 52nd Street, because it has been raining every day, there has been standing water there. That water is not going anywhere. The drainage system in Savannah sucks.
Yeah. They keep wasting money on everything but the main priority, which is drainage systems, road repair. I mean, come on. Where is the money going? It's going everywhere except where it should go.
And I'm not gonna give county commission a pass because they're doing, I don't know what they're doing. You got my frustration is, and I live in a pretty decent neighborhood that supports this mayor and supports this county chairman. And we do well all because of that. But I'm not one of these people, like most people in this neighborhood, that will turn a blind eye. Yes, we're doing well over here. Yes, we got our drainage fixed. But there are other neighborhoods like Tatumville. There are other neighborhoods like on East Savannah that are suffering. And like you said, there's standing water in communities. And guess what happens with standing water? Mosquitoes. What's happening with mosquitoes? Disease. So come on, people. We can't. What bothers me in this city is that we have people that will support certain leaders because they're doing good, because you don't have issues in your neighborhood. But we've got to also look to our neighbors. It's not okay. It's just not.
It's called being selfish. And if
it's selfish as hell.
It is very selfish to do it, but in the same aspect, the people, that's human nature. As long as I'm okay, I don't care I don't care about you going what you got going over there. The fact of the matter, what bothers me is the fact that y'all really decided that y'all want to spend $14 million on a parking lot for the in-market arena.
Well, we
Why
knew.
are you
No,
spending
Carson,
$14
let
million
me break that
on a
down.
parking
Let
lot?
me break that down, y'all. Let me tell you about the arena thing. You know the city leases that land from a family.
Yeah, yeah.
So every bit of that $1 million goes to that family.
Wait a minute. Pause. Wait. Did I just hear you correctly say they leased the land? They didn't buy it
from a family.
And everybody knows that they should have took that lease money and repaired their property themselves, rather than passing it on to the taxpayer. I mean, we're already paying for the lease. We got to pay for the repair. It's your property. You take the money that you're getting from the lease and repair it yourself. You're
but this is what you got to realize what's going to happen whenever. I don't know how many years they have that lease for, but in umpteen years, when that lease on that land is up, those people can say, "Hey, I want $1 billion from y'all to keep this arena." And if they choose not to, guess what happens? The family now owns the arena because it sits on their land.
Who you think will get the money to clean up that Bernetta and Vic told them that land was contaminated. You know what they did? And not only that, Van knew that land was contaminated because he was what? The alderman over there. Okay. Yeah. So no, what happened behind closed doors is what happened behind closed doors. But the thing is, misguided, as the Attorney General said, misguided, misinformed, and just downright stupid. Why would you go over that lease land when you knew people and you knew this land was contaminated?
Because everybody was getting the payoff. That's why.
There you go.
That's why.
So
each time they do this, all they do is make conditions more difficult financially on everyone in Savannah. And and I get frustrated because we're not going to be able to stay afloat if they keep this up.
That's it.
All of us are, if we're not going to be on the unemployment line, we're going to be betting to get into a homeless shelter. This needs to stop. We can't keep mismanaging like this.
There we go. We're going to step away for a little break, y'all, and we'll be back.
Savannah, are you looking for some of the best Southern soul food? Then check out Kim's Cafe at 714 MLK Boulevard. The food is so good, you'll think that your mother cooked it. Located in the heart of Savannah, Kim's has a menu that includes breakfast anytime, lunch when you need it, and dinner so you won't have to cook when you get home. They also cater all types of events and can host your reserved event at the restaurant. Come see what everyone has been raving about. Great food, great atmosphere, and a great time. Kim's Cafe, 714 MLK Boulevard in beautiful downtown Savannah. Hello, world. We're here, serving Savannah, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Brooklyn, Houston, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and the world. The best music all the time. The greatest songs ever made, every time. Tune in to Hot 2100 Savannah and get a taste for your ears. Hot 2100 Savannah, serving Savannah and the world.
All right, so Clinton's sending a video. We're going to play this, and Clinton just let me know when to stop it. But let's hit play on it and get reactions.
important aspect of the Epstein-Clinton relationship with a 10-foot pole, and that is Jeffrey Epstein's 17 visits to the Clinton White House between 1993 and 1995. They will not touch that. And there is a reason why mainstream media has worked so hard to have all the scandalous coverage of Epstein and Clinton be after Clinton left office. No focus on when he was in office. And the same is true also, I've argued in the past about Bill Gates.
House committee subpoenas the Clintons and several top former Department of Justice officials over testimony about Jeffrey Epstein. Wow. If I'm not mistaken, we got ourselves an old-fashioned "you hung out with Epstein more" contest.
This is the revenge of Trump. Well, let's get everybody's Epstein stuff out.
People come to us and their teeth are so bad that they all need to be extracted. They all need to be taken out, and they get.
Whatever happened to this puts a whole new spin on the lazy left's gaslighting mantra for years. But her emails, remember that? Yeah, exactly. But her goddamn emails.
Yeah.
Every gotcha the phony left bludgeoned everybody else with is now turning around and biting the hand that made them. And
why wouldn't they do that?
Why would here look? So there it is. New photos of this is from 2020. New photos of Bill Clinton getting massaged from Epstein. And by the way, look at the restorative powers that a massage can provide. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look. Compare a shot of him standing next to of this picture, and then a picture of him standing next to energy vampire Hillary.
Oh my goodness, it's quite a difference, isn't it?
A massage? That's not even in the top 10 worst things Bill Clinton has done to a woman.
Yeah, what?
That's like the 2000th thing on the list of bad interactions with a woman that Clinton had. I'm going to bet.
I will bet too. I'll bet all Hawk to a coin that I have left.
So remember that? There it is. There he is getting the massage in the air. That was the plane.
Yeah, that's
going
all he
to
needs.
getting to go on the Lolita Express. And here's my conspiracy theory. She's the one who actually killed Jeffrey Epstein by giving his neck a crack during a prison massage. That's my guess.
Oh, that's a very good point.
There. And by the way, they fact checked these. Yahoo fact checked Yahoo News, and yep, those are real photos of Shantae Davies giving Bill Clinton a massage, and she's an Epstein accuser, by the way. And
why would I need a fact check on a picture that came out before AI?
And to my Hollywood shallowcrats, I call them shallowcrats now.
Yeah.
Claiming that the Democrats are not involved in this, you're just a bunch of venal, selfish pigs. How about that?
Is that even a thing? There are people pretending Democrats were not involved.
Yes. And why do they do that? Because, Kurt, they'd rather leave the door open to work for those people working for the Epstein people than to do what's right. You're not pure evil, and you're not remotely good. You're just nothing. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's where your opinion gets filled from here on in. Anyway. Remember this picture? So
yeah.
That's Chelsea's wedding. There's Ghislaine.
Oh.
By the way,
not to be mean, but Chelsea was never in any danger, is what I heard.
By the way, doesn't Ghislaine sound like an address for a whorehouse? Am I right? Yes, it's a couple miles around the bend at 1313 Ghislaine.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
So this is happening. By the way, that's nice that he invited his masseuse's master to the wedding. Isn't that nice?
So we won't play the whole thing, but y'all's reaction.
Well,
release the Epstein files.
That's
how I feel. I mean, I don't personally care who's on there. We know that there's some big wigs, celebrities, politicians, everybody's on that list. We just want to see the name, so we know who is just on the list. It's curiosity. They are not going to let this go until he releases those files. We don't care that the Clintons on there. I genuinely believe that Bill Clinton is on there. We know that girl that he jizzed on that lady's skirt up under that desk.
Well, here's what
that lady has been famous since the 90s. People still say I'm a Monica Lewinsky talk about that lady.
Yeah,
She's never gonna get away from that. Never. Just release the files. That's all there to it.
I think they're only going to release a certain number of names because there are so many powerful people on the Republican and the Democrat side. They're on that list, and they do not want to be questioned. And therefore, they're going to give us limited bits and pieces of the list, but they're never going to give the public the whole list. And that's what irritates me. They're going to get away with it. They're going to try to confuse us by only listing things that are irrelevant. They're never going to tell us about the 17 times that Epstein went to the White House in the early 90s. They're just going to skip that, and they're going to focus on Epstein after Clinton went out of office and after other powerful people were out of office. And they don't want people to figure out that Epstein pretty much was involved in a lot of the things that our federal government was doing, and they want to keep that secret. It's not just they want to keep the human trafficking secret. They don't want you to know how many corrupt people have been starting unnecessary wars and wasting money and lives, and how many people have caused the death that could have been avoided. So a lot of people are going to be left out of this list. And that's what irritates me. And it irritates me the fact that we're never going to know the whole truth.
I wonder if we're ever going to have ethical people in office ever again. That's what, but I'm at.
Repeat, you said we're ever going to have what in office again?
Ethical people in office. Right now, I honestly, honestly, what irritates me on all fronts, whether you want to be whatever party you want to be a part of or independent, is can we have one damn person that's honest and not childish and who really goes to do the work for the people? And I'm just going to use this. I like Jasmine Crockett, but there's a part of Jasmine Crockett that's out here who's showboating and not doing the work for the people. I just want some people who are going to be elected and do the damn work and stop this bullshit.
Well,
prime example, New York, the mayoral race. That's the Muslim man that's running. He's for the people. He ran a boots on the ground campaign. And do you see how against him that everybody who has money is? Because he's so progressive. They are against him. They Cuomo will not drop out of the Democrat, will not drop out of the race, and he lost the primary. And Mayor Eric Adams will not drop out because if either one of them gets back in the seat, we're gonna be dealing with the same mess that we have been.
Well, the reason they're going against him is becoming a socialist, but that's irrelevant. If the people want him, they should be allowed to vote for him. Okay, I don't agree with socialism, but if you vote for a socialist, that's your right as an American.
Right.
And if you don't want a socialist to get elected, then win people's votes and beat them fair and square. There's no need to do underhanded, for my language, crap like they always do. Just win votes the fair and square way.
Huh. And this whole mess now with the gerrymandering in Texas and how you just get up and say we gonna cheat and everybody's supposed to be okay with it? Then California and New York, we gonna cheat too. Like, what are we doing?
That's been going on. It happened in Georgia when they did the redistricting on 165 and all the other districts. Remember around 2022, and I'll admit it's really shady, but we've been doing it. It's nothing new. Running away from doing your job and voting against it or for it isn't going to resolve the issue. If you want to resolve the issue, make sure you can get enough of your party in power to vote against something like this.
In the great state of Texas, that's not going to happen. With Governor Hot Wheels down there, that is definitely not going to happen. He has been the king there since 2012. And until he's the incumbent, so he can't be primary. The only way that they're gonna get Abbott out of there is if they vote a Democrat or an independent. That is the only way. But as far as that gerrymandering thing, I feel like they should do it because at this point in time, democracy as we know it does not exist anymore.
Well, we were never meant to be a democracy. We're supposed to be a constitutional democratic republic, which is a lot different than a democracy. You elect representatives that are supposed to represent your interests. In a democracy, you and I would have to vote on every little legislative bill that ever is approached. And we're just too big to have a real democracy. If we were smaller, we might pull it off, but that's why we instituted a constitutional democratic republic. But the people that we elect to represent us do not represent us. They represent anybody but us. That's the problem.
There should be nobody in an elected office should be a millionaire. How did you get to be a millionaire? How? That shows you right there that they're not there for the public. And that's what bothers me. It's like it's okay to get a consulting gig. It's okay to go get paid to speak. But when you have homeless people in any district and the representatives are millionaires, we got a problem.
Well, you may or may not billionaires. Is with inflation, a millionaire is like saying they have $100,000. You know, it doesn't have as much value as it used to. But you're correct.
But you know what's funny though with this whole gerrymandering thing? Trump is like he has requested that they do a mid-century census and they want to exclude the illegals there. And I was like, that's kind of interesting to say because if they exclude the illegals that are in Texas, considering Texas is the biggest border state where they do the most crossing, it's going to cut out so many seats. It will cut out, I ain't going to say so many, but it will cut down on the seats that Texas are their holds at this point. And it will be unbeneficial to them. So why are we not thinking ahead?
Same thing in California and probably New Mexico.
California, I really don't feel like would be as detrimental as Texas itself. California, I feel like their border is more regulated. I feel like California's border is more regulated than Texas. People come through Texas because it's the desert and there's less people and they have a better chance of getting through versus California.
What I want us to do as a country, honestly, I want us to get. I am so sick and tired of the different political parties. It's becoming like a chess. It's like 2-3-year-olds on a playground and it's my ball. Get rid of the political parties. Let's just get rid of them.
No.
Well, I've been telling people ever since I entered the political arena, don't vote for the party. Don't even vote for the candidate. Vote for the platform. The ideas that you think will solve your problems. But so many Americans vote for image, they vote for the person, or they vote for the party. And they never take a look at the ideas that are listed on the platform. Hey, if the idea doesn't work, then if you have enough failures, vote for a different person the next time. They have a different platform. But they keep voting for image, they keep voting for the person, or they keep voting for the party. And that's where they're making their mistake, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, we're going to step away for another quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
Savannah, are you looking for some of the best Southern soul food? Then check out Kim's Cafe at 714 MLK Boulevard. The food is so good, you'll think that your mother cooked it. Located in the heart of Savannah, Kim's has a menu that includes breakfast anytime, lunch when you need it, and dinner so you won't have to cook when you get home. They also cater all types of events and can host your reserved event at the restaurant. Come see what everyone has been raving about. Great food, great atmosphere, and a great time. Kim's Cafe, 714 MLK Boulevard in beautiful downtown Savannah.
Need your garments cleaned with care and with a professional touch? Then bring them to One Price Cleaners in Garden City at the Old Farmers Market on Highway 80. Service you can count on.
Former DeKalb County CEO Michael Thurman officially launching his campaign this morning, pitching himself as a leader who can deliver results across political and racial lines. 11 Alive's Ariana Manise joins us live this morning from the state capitol. So, Ariana, what is Michael Thurman saying is at stake in this big race?
Well, Jonathan, Michael Thurman says that Georgia working families are struggling and that the state needs a governor that is willing to move past political gridlock and focus on results.
The true judgment of a man or a woman is not how far you go in life, but it's how far you had to come to arrive where you are.
DeKalb County CEO and longtime Democratic lawmaker officially launched his campaign early this morning with this new campaign video vowing to fight for Georgians. He's promising what he calls a performance over promises approach to leadership, highlighting his decades in public service and record of turning around struggling institutions. Thurman most recently served as CEO to DeKalb County for the past 8 years, where Thurman said that he eliminated a $27 million deficit, passed major property tax relief, and led a $1 billion investment in infrastructure. He also touts his experience as a state lawmaker, a labor commissioner, and superintendent of DeKalb County Schools. Thurman says a growing Democratic field is what he will be joining. We are already seeing Democratic contenders such as former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms enter this race on the Democratic ticket, as well as State Senator Jason Estabis, Olu Brown, and State Representative Derek Jackson. And on the Republican side, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones is also running for governor, as well as Attorney General Chris Carr. Now, this race for governor still has a lot of time to shape up, as the primary race is not until next May, and the general election for governor does not come around until November of 2026. So we'll still be watching this race of governor to see if we see any other candidates throw their name in the race for governor. Reporting live at the...
And to add, I believe Derek Dooley, the son of former football coach Vince Dooley, has entered on the Republican side. But thoughts on the governor's race is going to be hot and heavy, y'all.
I think that most of the candidates are more qualified than Van Johnson, which makes me happy.
Yeah, I like Mike. In fact, I'll go public to say I'm going to support Mike. I've watched Mike. Let me tell you something that someone said the other day. Do you all realize most of the Georgia governors recently have come from rural areas? And Mike is from Athens, Georgia. He's in
Well, let's not forget our current governor was the agriculture major, so it tells you a lot.
Yeah. And I'm not a 100% fan of Brian Kemp, but I'll tell you what I enjoy about Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp is moderate. He's a moderate, and I think moderates do well in office.
But I can't put my support behind anybody right now because I'm kind of waiting to see until like a little bit farther down. Because right now I like Keisha Lance Bottoms. That's what I'm favoring right now, just because I feel like she do well. Georgia might not favor her, but I kind of favor. That's who I'm favoring right now, as of right now. That's just because that's the person who I'm familiar with and what she's done and how she's held her ground.
I'm waiting to make up my mind. I want to see them in debates, maybe one or two first, and then I'll narrow it down to two, and I'll give you my two options. But I'm just kind of waiting out and see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully we'll extend an invitation. Even any candidate that's running, we will have you come on and share your thoughts here, and we can ask some questions. But go ahead, Carlton, you were offering.
I lost my train of thought just then. I'm not even gonna
lie. Keep in mind. Go ahead.
But you will know, the one thing that I will say, coming this election cycle, I will say that Georgia will have its first Democratic governor that it has had since Roy Barnes was in office. I think he was the last Democratic governor when I looked it up. And that was back in the early 2000s. So,
Yeah, Roy.
yeah, so
I remember him.
yeah, so I thoroughly believe, even though, because I don't care who Brian Kemp endorses, Brian Kemp was a very successful governor of Georgia because, like you said, he was very moderate. Even though in the beginning he might have did some janky things when it came to the thing, especially when he was still sitting in that seat, when he was sitting in the secretary seat when he ran for governor the first time, and also doing that corrupt with the alleviating them votes after Biden won in 2020. But he still did right to best that he could for Georgia. But I just feel like at this point in time, Georgia, like it was stated when I was watching TikTok video, Georgia has the people, the infrastructure, it has a booming economy. Georgia has the potential to be on the same level as California one day, but it's going to take a better leadership role better leaders than what we have now to get it there.
Well, no offense, but I hope we do better in California. I mean, come on. I want a whole lot better in California.
But I do think I think Burt Jones will end up getting the Republican nod. Burt's just, he's got a much more of a household name than Derek Dooley, and I just, whoever ends up being governor, I just want them to do right by the citizens of Georgia.
Well, I haven't really even heard of Derek Dooley very much, so I'm gonna have to sit out and learn.
Well, I want the Republicans to stop playing this UGA game because it didn't work with Herschel.
No, it didn't. I mean, that was a disaster.
Well, it almost was. I mean, he came very close in beating Warnock, but
I still don't understand how these people.
Honestly, if he could learn how to talk, if he got a speech therapist, I think Herschel could have beat him.
I don't think.
Let me explain something to you. I have yet to figure out how y'all got that man. How did they absolutely? Georgia had a Southern Baptist pastor, educated. Y'all still would rather not choose him, and y'all wanted the monkey.
What you got to remember, Carlton, and people. Well, hold on. What you got to remember, and I've told people this when I ran for Public Service Commission. If you want to win Georgia, you got to appeal to rural counties. Rural counties elect the leaders of Georgia. That's how it goes. Atlanta doesn't do it. Savannah doesn't do it. These rural counties elect state leaders.
Yeah, but I don't think you should prop up someone just because they have a little bit of fame, such as an.
I don't either, but it is what it is.
Walker. I'm sorry, but in every speech, you could tell he was being, guided. He didn't know what he was doing. Now, he might be an okay person, I don't know, but he had no original ideas of his own.
No.
Warnock
He was
like
a woman beater.
he was a puppet. He was, I mean, everybody knows that.
And I'll be honest, it's one of the things where, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble with the Democratic Party, why I don't understand, the Democrats don't understand why can't we win state seats, is because you're not appealing to rural Georgia. That's it. You must appeal to rural Georgia to win anything in Georgia. It's the bottom line.
Rural Georgia love their football and they love their guns.
That's it.
They also like plain talk, but unfortunately, Herschel Walker's talk was a little bit too plain, too simple, I
agree. All right, y'all, but we're going to get out of here. It was a great conversation. We'll be back next week, same time, same place.
All right.
to